Good day everyone, we are the 7th reporter, Broquesa Rona May S. and Bueno April. Our topic for today is the Lesson 6, The State of Science and Technology During the Middle Ages. As you can see, we have the word bank here, the medieval times, counterweight trebuchet, crossbow, armor, heavy-wheeled plow, clock, hourglass, and mirror. Medieval times, Middle Ages, and Dark Ages are generally referring to the same period of time from 500 to 1500 AD, that's 1000 years. It covers the time from the fall of the Roman Empire to the rise of the Ottoman Empire. Europe experienced an intellectual revitalization, especially with regards to the investigation of the natural world. The medieval period saw major technological advances, including the invention of vertical windmill, spectacles, mechanical clocks, water mills, building techniques like Gothic style, and three-field crop rotation. Here are some famous inventions during medieval time. Military technologies such as counterweight trebuchet is a revolutionized medieval siege weapon which uses counterweights and hurling of huge stones to very far distances. It was first used in the eastern Mediterranean basin. Longbow with mass discipline archery was used by the English against the French during the Hundred Years' Wars. The longbow was powerful, accurate, and distributed to the eventual demise of the medieval knight class. Steel crossbow. The first handheld mechanical crossbow, this European innovation came with several different cocking aids to enhance draw power. Complete full plate armor. Appeared by the end of 14th century, the armor chainmail was made from thousands of metal rings, and the armor was a long cloak called a hauberk. Plate armor is considered the best in personal armor in terms of body protection and show the skill involved in working metals. Agricultural innovations such as heavy-wheeled plow. It is important in the cultivation of rich, heavy, often wet soils of Northern Europe that advanced their agricultural practices. Horse collar went through multiple evolution from the 6th to 9th century. It allowed more horse pulling power, such as with heavy plow, while horseshoes let horses adapt to rocky terrain, mountains, and carry heavier loads. They may have been known to the Romans and Celts as early as 50 BC. Artesian well, composed of a thin rod with a hard iron cutting edge, placed in a borehole and repeatedly struck with a hammer. Underground water pressure forces the water up the hole without pumping. Artesian wells are named as such as Artois, a region in France where the first was drilled by Carthusian monks in 1126. Wheelbarrow, used in construction, mining, and farming for carrying materials from place to place. Wheelbarrows appeared in stories and pictures between 1170 and 1250 in northwestern Europe.
Other inventions. Blast furnace is a type of metallurgical furnace used for melting to produce industrial metals, generally pig iron, but also others such as lead or copper. Blast refers to the combustion air being forced or supplied above atmospheric pressure. Hourglass or sandglass, sand timer, sand clock, or egg timer is a device used to measure the passage of time. It comprises two glass bulbs connected vertically by a narrow neck that allows a regulated flow of substance, historically sand from the upper bulb to the lower one. Vertical windmills. A vertical axis wind turbine is a type of wind turbine where the main rotor shaft is set transverse to the wind while the main components are located at the base of the turbine. This arrangement allows the generator and gearbox to be located close to the ground, facilitating service and repair. Spectacles, a device used to correct defects of vision or to protect the eyes that consist typically of a pair of glass or plastic lenses and the frame by which they are held in place. It's also called eyeglasses spectacles. Chess is a board game played between two players, each having a king and an army battling against each other in war. It is sometimes called Western or International chess to distinguish it from related games such as Shinke. Mirrors, a polished or smooth surface as of glass that forms images by reflections. Oil paint is a type of slow-drying paint that consists of particles of pigment suspended in a drying oil. Commonly linseed oil, the viscosity of the paint may be modified by the addition of a solvent such as turpentine or white spirit, and varnish may be added to increase the glossiness of the dried oil paint film. A tide mill is a water mill driven by tidal rise and fall. A dam with a sluice is created across a suitable tidal inlet, or a section of river estuary is made into a reservoir. As the tide comes in, it enters the mill pond through a one-way gate, and this gate closes automatically when the tide begins to fall. Spinning wheel is a device for spinning thread or yarn from fibers. It was fundamental to the cotton textile industry prior to the Industrial Revolution. It laid the foundation for later machinery such as the spinning jenny and spinning frame, which displaced the spinning wheel during the Industrial Revolution. Photos and information of other inventions during the Middle Ages. The first universities were developed. They trained the middle class of the cities in theology, medicine, and law. By 1100, modern universities emerged throughout Western Europe, such as Oxford and Cambridge in England. In the 14th century, crisis of the late Middle Ages was underway. A plague called Black Death, it wiped out so many lives. It affected the entire system. It brought a sudden end to the previous period of massive scientific change. Counterweight trebuchet, also sometimes called trebuchet, is a medieval siege engine, a weapon employed either to batter masonry or to throw projectiles over walls. It was first used in the Eastern Mediterranean basin. Trebuchets were used in the Crusades by the 1120s, Byzantium by the 1130s, and in the Latin West by 1150s. Plate armor is a historical type of personal body armor made from bronze, iron, or steel plates, culminating in the iconic suit of armor entirely encasing the wearer. Full-plate steel armor developed in Europe during the late Middle Ages, especially in the context of the Hundred Years' War, from the coat of plates worn over mail suits during the 14th century. University of Oxford is a collegiate research university in Oxford, England. There is evidence of teaching as early as 1096, making it the oldest university in the English-speaking world and the world's second oldest university in continuous operation. University of Cambridge is a collegiate research university in Cambridge, United Kingdom. Formed in 1209 and granted a royal charter by Henry III in 1231. Cambridge is the second oldest university in the English-speaking world and the world's fourth oldest surviving university. Black Death. The plague killed 25 to 50% of people in Europe, especially in the crowded areas of the towns, where the heart of innovation lay. Quarantine technique was established initially as a 40-day period. The quarantine was introduced by the Republic of Ragusa to prevent the spreading of disease like the Black Death. Venice began quarantine. Then the practice spread around in Europe.
The way in which plague is transmitted from the rodent host to man is via the flea. The flea feeds on the infected rodent. Now, at that stage, the flea can't digest the meal, and when it subsequently feeds on another host, whether that be another rodent or whether it be man, it actually regurgitates that blood meal containing the bacteria back into the host, so the bacteria are effectively injected just under the skin.